The history of Halloween. The history of Halloween. Focus question. How has the celebration of Halloween changed throughout the years? A fun and scary holiday. Halloween is a colorful and delicious holiday. It's mostly celebrated in the United States, Canada, the United Kingdom, and Ireland, where it first began. On October 31st, trick-or-treaters pour into the streets. Creepy music oozes from Halloween parties and haunted houses, and people dress up in all kinds of costumes. Monsters, ghosts, superheroes, and princesses are all ages celebrate together. Today, Halloween's greatest popularity may be in the United States, where it is important in both culture and business. Halloween turns up in Hollywood movies and popular songs. Halloween means big businesses of American stores too, since people buy Halloween candy and costumes every year. The Halloween holiday celebrated today is part of a very old tradition. It began with the Celtic peoples who lived in Great Britain, Ireland, and northern France about 2,000 years ago. The, the Celts, Samhain. The Celts celebrated a harvest festival called Samhain each fall. Samhain has some things in common with our New Year celebrations as well as with Halloween. According to the Celtic calendar, October 31st was the final day of the year. The Samhain celebration on October 31st was a way to say farewell to the old year. The Celtic Samhain festival also had a supernatural side. The Celts believed that the doorways between the world of the living and the dead were open on the eve of Samhain. As a result, the spirits of people who had died during the previous year could cross over to the underworld. The dead could appear and communicate with the living. To help the dead on their journey, Celts lit bonfires and sacrificed crops and animals. The Celts also believed that priests could see the future during these festivals. The predictions made at Samhain were an important part of planning for the new year. The beginnings of Halloween. Later, as Christianity spread throughout Europe, the Catholic Church tried to replace Samhain with its own traditions. For example, the Church declared an All Saints' Day on November 1st. This celebration was also known as All Hallows' Day. October 31st, the day before All Halloweens, came to be called All Hallows' Eve, which was later shortened to Halloween. Many of the older Celtic traditions lived on in this new holiday, especially the belief in supernatural activity on the night of October 31st. The Halloween traditions we know today are influenced by the Celts, the Catholic Church, and legends from medieval Europe. Costumes and trick-or-treating. The tradition of dressing up in costumes has changed many times over the centuries. Halloween costumes probably began with the Celts, who dressed up like animals during the Samhain. In medieval England, people walked the streets dressed like fairies, witches, and ghosts, hoping to frighten away these creatures. This practice was called mumming, and people often gave mummers food and drink. If food and drink were offered, people thought that the spirits would go away without making trouble. These practices come down to us today as trick-or-treating. Adults give candy to children who, if they get a trick, will hopefully move along without performing any tricks. Jack-o'-lanterns. Many people create jack-o'-lanterns each year at Halloween. Jack-o'-lanterns are made by carving faces or designs into a pumpkin. Then a candle or other light is placed inside the pumpkin to light up the carving. Jack-o'-lanterns come from an Irish story about a man named Stingy Jack. Stingy Jack liked to play tricks on his friends. When Jack died, his spirit was forced to roam in the darkness as punishment for his man personality. To light this way, he carved a hole in a turnip and placed a candle inside. Because of this, the Irish called him Jack of the Lantern and later Jack-o'-lantern. People in Ireland and England used to carve scary faces into turnips, beets, and potatoes. Then they would place candles inside to create a jack-o'-lantern. These jack-o'-lanterns were meant to look like Stingy Jack's terrifying face or to frighten him away. When many Irish people moved to North America in the 1800s, they brought the jack-o'-lantern tradition with them. The tradition of using pumpkins in jack-o'-lanterns, however, began in the United States in the mid-1800s. Pumpkins make great jack-o'-lanterns. They are large enough to be curved in all kinds of designs, and they are easy to find in the fall. Today, creating and displaying jack-o'-lanterns is an important part of the Halloween celebration. Traditions of the past. Some Halloween traditions that were once popular are less well known today. Interestingly, several of these traditions come from the Celtic custom of fortune-telling at Samhain. The classic Halloween party game of bobbing for apples, for example, began as a form of fortune-telling. In this game, players attempt to remove an apple from a tub of water using only their mouths. The first person to get an apple was supposed to be the first to marry later in life. Today, fortune-telling has dropped out of many Halloween games. However, people might meet a fortune teller at a Halloween party or haunted house. Halloween today. The modern Halloween celebration is fairly now, though it is often mixed with older traditions. This is especially true in North America, where the holiday was not widely celebrated until the 1800s. Halloween was frowned upon by many of the first European settlers in the New World. The Puritans, for example, discouraged people from celebrating it. The holiday became much more popular when huge numbers of Irish immigrants came to the United States in the 1800s. They brought their Halloween traditions with them, including jack-o'-lanterns and mumbling. Gradually, more and more Americans celebrated Halloween. Unfortunately, though, as Halloween celebrations became more popular, pranks became common on Halloween night. By the 1930s, the pranks had become a major problem. Some city governments tried to remake Halloween into a family holiday with trick-or-treating events for children. Trick-or-treaters in the 1830s and 1940s received cookies, fruit, toys, and pocket change. Candy became a popular treat as trick-or-treating gained steam in the 1850s. However, the little Halloween candy bars common today didn't appear until the 1870s. Although the treats have changed over the years, kids' enthusiasm hasn't. In the United States alone, more than 41 million children went trick-or-treating in 2014. Fun Halloween facts. Pounds of fresh pumpkin consumed per person in the United States in 2013, 4.2. Percentage of dedicated Halloween fans who begin shopping before September, 5%. Total spent on Halloween in the United States in 2015, $6.89 billion. Celebrating in a crowd. Halloween's popularity is growing, especially in the United States and Canada. More people celebrate Halloween every year. Some cities hold community trick-or-treating events at malls, churches, and community centers. These events help keep trick-or-treaters safe from street traffic. The crowds aren't made up of kids alone, though. Adults are celebrating Halloween in increasing numbers. In 2015, people plan to spend more on costumes for adults than one costume for children. Many adults also host or go to Halloween parties as well as dress in costume. Halloween is fun for kids, but adults definitely don't want to be left out. A mix of old and new. Halloween today looks quite different from the celebration of the 1850s and 1800s and the Samhain festival in the ancient Celts. Its traditions are still changing, mixing the old with the new. Today, Halloween is rich with traditions from several different cultures that people of all ages can enjoy. Do you know? And an entire industry is built around Halloween candy, costumes, and party supplies. A survey in 2015 found that 93.7% of Halloween shoppers plan to buy Halloween candy. Shoppers plan to spend $2.1 billion on candy alone. Shoppers also plan to spend about $28 on costumes per household, and many even planned to buy costumes for their pets. A total of 44.8% of people celebrating Halloween planned to decorate their yards, and 31.5% of shoppers planned either to host a Halloween party or go to one. The average amount spent by people celebrating the holiday was $74.34